What's going on, everybody? In the last video, I had put out a call for requests on things you guys wanted to see, and I think the first request that I saw was for Skeleton Sorcerer, or a Skeleton Tribal deck in general. Sorcerer's just always been what I played. So we are going to go ahead and play a Skeleton Sorcerer deck. It really just comprises of packing all of the Skeleton synergies into a single deck. I think the new addition from the last time we played this deck years ago was Headless Zombie running 2 copies. And the logic behind that is you could potentially pull out some more Skeleton Champions, and that's kind of a good place to be in, I think. Other than that, it's just a whole bunch of good cards. Can't really complain about most of this. Alfheat Conjurer's in here as well, just because Alfheat Conjurer is a pretty nutty card. Same with Haunting Spirit. Not a skeleton, but kind of fits the vibe with a spirit tag. Abner's in there to copy Skeleton Champion if possible, potentially Galen, potentially Odurnaran. And then Emmerich's in there just because Emmerich is pretty nutty as well. So let's go ahead and try and get a game in. You know, one thing that I realized that I need to do soon is try out the cards that they dropped when the game kind of went into maintenance mode. I don't even remember all of them. I've played with Strange Brew. I've seen a new era. I have no interest in playing with the new era, but I've seen a new era. I don't remember the rest of them, but I know there was a whole bunch of cards that came out that I think I'm going to need to go ahead and build some decks for and try them out for you guys. Just because I never really dove into those cards at all. And there's probably a whole bunch of stuff in there that I'm missing out on. I know there were some pretty busted cards in there. I think like Yagram's Workshop was one of them, if I remember correctly. And then they had the Shout one, which I remember looking pretty nutty. I don't know how it wound up in practice, but I can't see anywhere else besides where that thing was probably pretty nutty as well. But we'll try some out soon. It's time. It must be done. Playing against Nordsea. Playing some Empire. Looking at the recording on the side, it looks like my webcam's doing some tearing. So if that is happening, I apologize. I will investigate in between videos. I don't know if it's just my preview or not. We got a pretty decent starting hand. The only problem is things like Execute eat my 2 best plays up. But we'll still see how this goes. I think we'll go Wandering, just because it is a little more sticky than Skin Town, and we want to use some Skin Town utility. We did draw a Headless Zombie, but we don't really want that until we have some things to eat up with it. And there's good old Hive Defender. And we get another Wandering Skeleton. We unfortunately have to just kind of try and push through that. We don't really have a lot of options. If they play Arrowstorm, we get absolutely decimated. But I've never seen somebody play Arrowstorm before. This is a Slay deck. You have my attention, friend. That's not worth Dark Guardian or Odurnaring for. Is this really a triple trade Alfheat Conjurer? Kind of feels like it.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
This was not ideal, but it gets us back onto the board. And we don't run a lot of like comeback mechanics, so it's just hugely important that we stay ahead.
This one is in no mood for you.
Let's get Bone Daddy out. Let's try and keep up the pressure. Ah, I misplayed that a little bit. I missed out on 2 damage. I actually forgot that Bone Daddy buffs.
We draw power from their blood. Herbs can heal or harm.
goes Papa Bone Daddy.
Smell the stench of the living.
Okay, so we have negation to actually get a daddy back. Just keep smacking.
This one is in no mood for you.
And let's go Headless Zombie for Bone Daddy. And then let's negation this thing so they don't keep ramping on us.
Aid me. Under moon and star.
I could go for the Archer's Gambit. I've not seen that card in a while. Interesting. Alright, so I think we trade into that. Get our Bone Daddy back. So we can do that. And then I think we hit these to get rid of that.
This
And then
one
we'll just
is in no
get them to
mood
3
for you.
with a hidden Bone Daddy. But they could go for like Unstoppable Rage here, but that would only get them a Blood Magic spell, and they're a little bit too far behind for that. We're gonna get the dub here. Skeleton Sorcerer just puts on pressure. I cannot complain with how that game went at all. Just put the pressure on, you keep it on. You remember that guy. It's crazy how well I remember most of the cards in this game. Obviously, I forgot that Bone Daddy buffs, so I'm a little bit rusty in some regards, but like, remembering all these cards exist. Let's get another matchup going. That felt pretty fun. Pretty solid. I always liked Skeleton Sorcerer because it was like a pretty aggressive mid-range deck. You just kind of just keep dropping down your skeletons, and then you try and get buffs with Skeleton Champion and Bone Daddy. You got that one draw card that can pull your Skeleton Champions out. You could potentially hit Galen on your Odurnerin, which then pulls Bone Daddies back from the dead. There's just a lot of ways to flood the board and just keep up pressure. I don't think this is the same person. I think I've only played with Vastory a little bit. But I mean, she's getting buffed 4 spirits and skeletons. This is the deck for her. Save the ring. You want to save your ring for your like 5, 6, 7s, things like that. And just Skinned Hound is not like a super enticing thing to ring out. It's like a good card, but usually you want to be playing that buff onto other things. Let's see what our opponent's going to be rocking with for their strategy.
Talking mud crab merchant. Read my lips.
Interesting.
Mouthful.
Probably a slower deck, but Mudcrab can go into a lot of things as well. I don't want no invade card. Get out of here. Now, this Hallowed Death Priest could potentially be pretty juicy if they are a slow deck. Is it like Mudcrabs and animals? Because if so, you'll supremely captured my attention. Like, supremely. I think next turn is probably Hallowed Death Priest, then maybe Vastory. Where do I go for Vastory now? to maybe go for Skeleton Champion next turn. That seems pretty decent.
Haven't you ever met a lich before?
It may bait out like a javelin or something, but still pretty decent play. Look, because it looks like they're trying to like lay on the pressure to us as well. They could just be value oriented, since we saw Mud Crab and we saw this thing.
This should help you.
Okay. Okay. That's not the worst thing in the world. Let's not swing for that 2 damage. If I was confident I could ever do anything with that Valkanaz Mage, I would definitely play it out. Although we have a follow-up Skeleton Champion, it's not going to be the best one, though. What does it do? When Dune Reaper enters a lane, it deals 2 damage to an enemy creature. Pilfer, it moves. That's pretty juicy. I think our play is either Bone Daddy or Alfiq. Bone Daddy pushes more damage now. It also means that Vastray could potentially die. But honestly, I think it's worth it.
By Azura's light.
We gotta counter the pressure. This deck looks like it wants to be applying pressure. Oh, this is from Mudcrab Merchant. Oh, Eldergleed Matron, never mind. That's another card I haven't played with at all. That looks fun in Move Archer. Put it on the list, I guess. They are 1 turn off from being able to unstoppable... No, they can't unstoppable rage. The Archer colors are just tripping me up, man.
Yeah, I just talked, and then
Continuing to do so.
You aren't my master. What you do for now?
I assume they're going to trade into the Vastary. So this is setting me up for a very nice little Ancestral Dead Skeleton Champion turn. Before anything else happens, let's just take that damage right now. I know that introduced another rune, but I didn't want Bone Daddy to die. That was my biggest hit, and if that got javelined, we lost more damage than just the 6. So in that situation, I was okay with breaking 2 runes instead of 1. I think that was a fine trade-off there. And let's get one more. Technically have enough gameplays for a video, but let's juice this bad boy up. Got some spell sword action going on. Let's take a 2/2 magic a 2/3. I mean, the Ancient Lookout, really, you're never triggering it besides if it stays alive until turn 8, which is not happening. But, you know, it's just good to have good cards. I think this deck is much more likely to be running Execute, unless it's like a token version. Even a token version could be running it. Okay. I honestly just kind of want to get rid of that. I don't have a lot. You really need to like value your negations, because that's like our main way of dealing with things that have good effects.
I serve the house with valor.
Is this just like an all-out rally deck? Looks like it might be. Execute here kind of puts us on the path to being blown out. I could see an Execute kind of just snowballing from here. If they have to swing and then play something else, we have some chances if we could follow up with like Restless Templar.
If you're looking for trouble, you'll find it.
Although we don't have an answer at all to that card either. I think I like just getting all the Bone Daddies in the deck. And then just try and get some additional pressure in that lane. Because we don't want this thing just going on forever. Next turn is going to be kind of a dry turn, and then we can try and start hitting the Bone Colossus and hopefully start drawing some of our shuffled in Bone Colossus. Because we have 5 in the deck now.
Chimeric spirit of the sky.
Oh, that's not good. It's not good at all. Technically could just drop down Emmerich.
Repel the
I'll
outlanders.
just trade that in. If I drop this, that'll be enough. I think I have to do this. Just have to chip away at that thing. Even if I wind up having to swing in with Emmerich anyway.
Just leave this to my soldiers.
Okay.
You took a wrong turn, stranger.
We're really going to be on our back foot here. We did draw a Bone Daddy, though.
Let me take out that rubbish.
I think we really just need to try and start flooding. If I can get a second Bone Daddy out next turn, we are in better situation. But it depends on what they have to answer me right now. They did get 1 Mega Rally. They're going to have another Mega Rally coming up. Alright, so we're losing at least 1 Bone Daddy next turn. Well, actually, I could get around it by just trading in some skeletons as well.
Just leave this to my soldiers. I'll do anything for my
Okay,
house.
that was actually less horrible than I was expecting. Alright, so we're going to drop another Bone Daddy. They will now buff each other.
On your guard, mongrel pup.
Alright, we're turning this around a little bit. That's gotten hit once by Rally. He can trade into my Emmerich.
I'll do anything for my
He will
house.
not do that, though. Okay.
At the ready.
Oof. That could just do us in.
To serve.
Keep forgetting about this Divine Fervor.
All can be had for the right price.
That's pretty crazy. So I think we have to trade, go face for 6. Maybe... I don't know. I don't know what we're doing there yet. Don't have a Skinned Hound. This would not be a bad time for a Skinned Hound. But we really don't have any plays of Durnarin right now. We could pull back a Dark Guardian, but that doesn't do a lot. Besides, put a blocker out in front of this Bone Colossus, which isn't actually that horrible.
Let me take out the rubbish.
Could play Skeletal Dragon. Do I do Skeletal Dragon or like double Restless Templar? Or I do that to try and block his draw. I could get silenced. But if I could Galen in more like Odernarans or something, we're in an okay spot.
Go no further.
You're gonna heal for, what is it, 3? Yeah.
If you're looking for trouble, you'll find it.
Okay, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Also tough.
Tell them you thought of it.
All can be had.
Good thing is we've answered a good amount of the rally value now, I think. We're not gonna have many things left that were rallied.
This world will be well rid of you.
Okay. I think we need to get rid of this. Unfortunately. Just flood that lane a little bit. I really want to get rid of this guy. Start prepping to heal some more. They can draw, which is a little unfortunate. We have some potential like pseudo draw with Skeletal Dragon. This guy just summons a skeleton, right? Yeah.
Death comes to us all.
Wow. But now, if he doesn't trade one of these two into this,
This one will get what is needed.
or I guess I could draw some answers as well. That is an option. I'm gonna draw a bunch of cards here too. That could easily go face,
Go no further.
but I'm not surprised to see that happen. And then they can swing here again without giving me any more cards. But also, if this guy goes face, he's gonna kill himself, which is fine.
You can tell them you thought of it.
I do think actually it'd probably be better for him to go there.
This one will get
I agree with that play. I think it's a good play.
My sword is yours.
Okay. Now what do we do here? I could pull back a Dark Guardian. Just do that for sure. And then I need some more of those Bone Daddies that I shuffled in. Let's do one of these. Oh. Mwah. 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 That was beautiful. And we'll get that out over there. I'm not going to do anything with that guy right now. That Eyelid Guardian would have just absolutely decimated me. I have no answers for that.
Chimera, spirit of the sky.
I have no answers for this either. The amount of value that's going on right now is just through the roof. I mean, the crazy thing is, I don't think we're out of it yet either. We need to draw some of those Bone Daddies, some of the skeleton guys. I have nothing for that. Now, if they go face twice...
On your guard.
Or if this goes face at all, actually. It will not. Okay. Would I rather an Ancestral Dead or a Dark Guardian if I go for... Actually, I can't pull that back with Odona anyway.
Rise, my servant.
I think my only option here is Ancestral Dead. And then we're gonna hit this. No, that can just, this can trade here, which then we can't take out this, but I have to get some value trades in. These Divine Fervors are really just making a huge difference in this game. We have no answer for them. And they're just getting better trades. We're trying to trade up. It's not working well. You've also drawn 8 more cards than us, which is a little tricky. Yeah, you take that trade every time. Yep.
All can be had for the right price.
The tough thing is it really becomes a battle of who has better top decks too. Because like, even if I top deck, let's say I don't even know, nothing comes out of this really. But if I top deck something, I can take out this, block that, let's say in a perfect world. Which this was a really bad top deck. But every one of their top decks, even if they're equal quality, because of the double Divine Fervors, their top decks are better. So we need to have like better draw by at least like 2/2 worth of stats on every draw to kind of keep incrementally getting ahead. But I don't think that's happening. Really all we got. They're going to be able to reload even more with this Blood Pact Messenger, get 2 more cards up. They'll be up more than 10 cards on us. And then I think we just kind of... I mean, we've been just slowly petering out. And I think it's going to keep happening.
Go no further.
This one will get what is needed.
I do go for the cards. Which I guess makes sense.
Believers shall flock to our noble cause.
Chanter.
Ready.
Oh, this guy's back. Yeah, I don't think we can answer that.
You can tell them you thought of it.
I don't think we have anything to answer that one. We just got our first Alfique as well. We really did draw like the first half of our deck.
Behold my power.
Not that I think it would have made that much of a difference. This deck had a very nice game plan for what we try and do. Yeah, this looks like it's a good game, I believe. I'm not getting through those stats.
A fine
Good game,
guy.
sir or madam. That was quite excellent.
The victory is yours.
We're board-based, kind of aggressive mid-range, and they just had chunky stats with guards. That's not our place to win. It was a good fight, though. I think it was a very nice back-and-forth battle for most of it, so I'm not even that upset with that. And we finished a quest as well. Can't complain about that. Alrighty, well, that is going to be it for now, everybody. Let me know if there's any other decks you guys want to see down below in the comment section. And yeah, I'll take that into consideration for the next video. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.